TJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live. It is Monday. What is the date? July the 7th, 9:30 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. It's bloody out there if you are a Tesla shareholder, or TSL shareholder. It is pretty awesome if you have a pretty big position in Sofi. And that's the beautiful thing about being invested in multiple companies. You know, Sometimes it's good in one stock, sometimes it's not so good, but all in all, it kind of averages out. A little bit under the weather, voice is a little hoarse. Sorry about that, but I think it's very important to go live when things aren't going that well in the market because you're not shying away from anything. Anyway, I know our boy Amit is on, so I expect our crowd is going to be kind of small, and that's okay. But keep in mind, this is a channel where we sell options live. I don't cover all things about the market. I ain't got that kind of time on my hands, right? I'm a 50-year-old man. I'm married, got a kiddo, talking about having another kiddo, have interests in 3 other businesses. I ain't got time to be on YouTube all day. I got better shit to do. But that being said, I do sell options for a living. So put, sell calls, collect premium, roll when it makes dollars and cents. And I try to go live a couple times a week for you guys so that you guys can see the buttons that I'm pushing, kind of give you all the play-by-play, right? Like why I'm making this move, why I'm not making that move. How do I feel about the move whenever I make it? How do I feel about it now that it's kind of playing out? So anyway, let's get into it, man. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. What's going on, Mike D? What's going on, Mr. International? Larmo. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I do have a personal story that I want to share with you guys, and then we're going to get into it. So I got on GLP-1 again about a month ago, kind of like kickstart my weight loss journey, if you will. And it has just been an absolute disaster, guys. Absolute disaster. I haven't gotten a good night's sleep in probably over 2 weeks now. Just a bunch of nightmares, dreaming about my late daughter, my mom, even my ex-girlfriend, my late ex-girlfriend. And not positive dreams, not positive dreams. This is really just shitty dreams. A crazy dream about my wife. Just fighting a bunch of like demons and stuff in my sleep and my dreams. And it's just been absolutely crazy. It's been absolutely crazy how these GLP-1s for me, they like rewire my harness. And to the point where I was having like really, really negative thoughts too. Like, oh, what's the point of life? And having those stupid fucking crazy ass discussions. I call it stinking thinking, stinking thinking. So anyway, I made the decision that I am no longer going to take any type of GLP-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the hell they come up with. There ain't any more needles going in this body. I'm going Rocky mode, counting my calories. I'm drinking a lot of water, and I'm doing intermittent fasting. That is my diet plan. And I'm trying to have an 8-hour window for eating, and eventually I want to shrink that down to a 4-hour window. And I want to get to the point where I can do a 72-hour fast one time per month. I just feel like there's so many health benefits to it. In fact, I'm in the middle of a fast right now. I just completed 12 hours or so. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to document the journey for you guys. So whenever I do the health and wealth segment, the talk's going to be about fasting and like the benefits of fasting that I've found. So anyway, guys, those of you that are on GLP-1, just be careful. Just be careful, because nothing good comes easy, and nothing easy is usually good. That's your quote of the day. So anyway, let's get going. We're going to go ahead and share the screen now and see if we can find it. Oh, first thing I want to do, I want to feature the tweet tart of the day. So hopefully that shows up. That's my Twitter feed right there. And I want to start featuring the tweet tart of the day. This is the most ridiculous person that I can find on Twitter. at the moment. It's on TJ the Wheel Deal. Look for the blue check mark on Twitter if you guys want to give me a follow. So the tweet tart of the day is going to be this dude right here. This dude right here named Grant. So moves that I made today. Here we are right there. Might as well like the stream. The moves that I made today so far was just I rolled up the $22 naked calls on Sofi to 25, same expiration date. So I did that for a debit because I've taken on a lot of credits rolling the short puts up. Started at like 11. Now we're like at 17. So if Sofi keeps matriculating up, I'll keep rolling the puts for a credit to finance the calls for a debit. And eventually we'll just keep staying in that sweet spot. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I have more puts than calls. So it just makes it easier to do that. So when you feel like there's a lot of risk to the upside and you want to run the naked strangle, it would behoove you to have more puts than calls. Just a little ratio for you. So anyway, I bought 25,000 shares of Tsll, and then this Grant character right here, this Grant Belden, these people need to get wiped. So I looked on his channel, and he just does not like Elon, I think. So I put on there, did he bang your gal or what? Like, why are you so angry at Elon? And it's just kind of like been banter ever since. I don't take Twitter seriously, guys. So just, take all of this with a grain of salt. There's a bunch of keyboard warriors on Twitter. There are some really good, there's some good information on there. And you'll see it right there. Did Elon bang your gal? So, I mean, I'm just being a dick. I'm just being a dick. And anyway, he's like, no, idiots masquerading as experts just annoying me anyway. Good luck. But it's just this dude just says he's angry. He's angry for whatever reasons. I don't portray myself as an expert, though. I don't think. I just know how to make money selling puts and calls. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm good at. I don't know everything about every company and why stocks go up sometimes and why stocks go down and all this other shit. I know how to sell put, sell calls, collect premium, roll into makes dollars and cents, and I eventually am able, more often than not, manufacture the win. Take that for what it is. And my results are there. So one thing I've learned in life is only a retard would argue with results. That's why I have this thing called tweet card of the day now, because only a retard would argue with results. To me, results, it's not argumentative. It is not argumentative. I got the results. Show your results. And that's the game that we can play. It's called transparency. A lot of more of you guys should try it because it's really, really liberating. So let's get into it a little bit more and let's get to the actual portfolio. I do want to talk about some key positions that we got here. So you guys should see the kaleidoscope action. I've actually got it streaming live on my TV in the background, so that way I can know that I'm sharing the right screen intentionally. So now you guys should be able to see the portfolio, giving it a couple. There's about a 3-second lag or a second lag between. Yeah, perfect. So it's showing up over there as well. So what I want to do now is get into the positions, get into the key positions, if you will. So we're going to start with number one. We're going to work our way down, and then we'll end up on 60 because 60 is the big account. So an account ending in 01 is pretty flat for the day, down 1,800 for the day, 1,900 for the day, up 173,000 year to date. The very first thing that I look at when I log on to the account is what's in the money. It's kind of like yellow light, red light, or, green light, go, yellow light, caution, red light, stop, whenever you're driving. So to me, this is just the caution whenever something's in the money. That's the first thing that I look at. There's two positions that are in the money. And then I just kind of go on the header and I go from left to right. So I click on the balance and I look at what's the cash in the account. 597. That works good. For the day, for the year, the options buyers buying power, the stock buying power seems to be it's the same because this is a portfolio margin account. I look at the data, the delta, I'm sorry. Look at the theta. I look at the Vega. We're short Vega because we're so options on this channel. And then I look at the overall extrinsic value. Why is this extrinsic value important? Because if everything expires out of the money, that extrinsic value will move over to the net liquidation value. So that is why I look at that. It's very important for me. And then I look at the buying power usage, the buying power usage percentage. In a perfect world, you want to be closer to that 50 to 60%. Then profit and loss open, profit and loss for the day, profit and loss year to date with fees. So those are the things that I look at. And then I go and I just start looking at the positions. There's nothing to look at with ALGS. It's just been a bad trade. We're just waiting for the right opportunity to potentially take a loss on that to offset some taxes. On Amazon, this appears to be a covered strangle. We've got 1,000 shares there, and we've got an agreement to buy 1,000 more shares at 215, and an agreement to sell those 1,000 shares at 225, 74 days to expiration. So not a whole lot to do with Amazon. CleanSpark, there's 3,000 shares, an agreement to buy 2,500 more shares at $11, 39 days to expiration, an agreement to sell 2,500 of the 3,000 shares at $12, 39 days from now, and an agreement to sell 500 of the 3,000 shares 39 days from now, 14 days, $14 strike price. In faith, it's just a short strangle, so it's a sweet spot trade, and it has to stay between the put and the call, and that's exactly what it's doing. 25 short puts at 40, 25 short puts at 45. It's currently trading at 42.09. Nothing to see there. NVIDIA is another short strangle. So it's a sweet spot trade. It has to stay between the put and the call. And that is 140 on the put, 165 on the call. So the stock is trending to the upper end of our little Bollinger Band, if you will, which would be 140 and 165. It's another way to look at it. It's like our own little personalized Bollinger Band trade. And it's at the upper end of that band. So it's something that we have to be mindful of, because whenever you have short strangles, you have an unlimited risk to the upside. You have an unlimited risk to the downside too, technically, because the account could go to zero, but the stock could go to zero. It's very unlikely with NVIDIA. I think the absolute bottom on NVIDIA would probably be about $100, $110 if the market just absolutely tanked as a whole. Palantir, 120 to 160, another sweet spot trade. So our little Bollinger Band here, our personalized Bollinger Band is 120 to 160. It's comfortably cruising in the middle, already up a cool $66,000 year to date on Palantir short strangles. Pretty awesome. Palantir, another sweet spot trade, 67.50, 82.50. It is cruising pretty comfortably between those. I'd be more comfortable. We could expand this. I want to roll. I want to expand, but maybe after another week or so, we get closer to that 21 days to expiration. Riot, this is a covered strangle. We've got an agreement. We got 2,500 shares. We've got an agreement to buy 2,500 more shares at 11, and we've got an agreement to sell the 2,500 shares at 11. So those shares are in the money. So this is another one of those that we got to address. It turns out that it's pretty decent shape. Tsll, this is a sweet spot trade, 11 and 20. Obviously, the 11 is in the money, so there's a little pressure here or there. The potential would be to buy 5,000 shares of Tsll at 11. It's currently trading for under 10, so that would be no bueno. Be down about $5,000 on that position collectively if we took ownership right now. Let's look at account ending in 33. There's not a lot going on here. There's a sweet spot trade on in-phase, 35 to 45. Nothing to see there. Sweet spot trade on hood, 75 to 125. Nothing to see there. And then there's Tsll, 14,000 shares owned at $11, so that's problematic. And there's an agreement to buy 14,000 more shares at $12 with an agreement to sell the 14,000 shares at 14. So it's covered strangle. The short put sides are getting hammered. Let's see if the portfolio could actually absorb this. We got to look at the cash. $331,000 in cash. Be okay. Let's look at account ending in 20. We've got a sweet spot trade, 10 and 14 on Clean Spark, 74 days out, not bad. In-phase sweet spot trades real tight, 40 to 45, but it's cruising in down the middle right now, 39 days out. Clean Spark or a hood is another sweet spot trade, 75 to 125, 50 contracts. It's doing extremely well. Palantir's sweet spot trade, 110 to 165. I really love the width of this trade here. Eventually, it'd be a lot more comfortable. We can get 100 on the short put side and even maybe 170 on the short call side. Sleep like this. That's a good trade. Both of those two trades are really good in this account. The Hood and Palantir trade, absolutely beautiful trades. PayPal is another sweet spot trade, 65 and 80. I'm not super comfortable with that 80. So again, I want to be able to roll and expand this one, but we're just getting started. Give me time to build out the position. Sofi, we've got puts at 16. We've got short calls at 22. And we've got short puts at, long calls at 15. Those have absolutely printed up 305%. Or $206,000, and I'm managing this sweet spot trade. So I think that Sofi is going to do okay. Tsll is a covered strangle. We've got 10,000 shares, surprisingly still up on the shares. We got an agreement to buy 10,000 more shares at $10, and we got an agreement to sell those 10,000 shares at 18. So that part is doing pretty well also. What else do we got? The little account, my son's account, TJ the Wheel Deal account. We've got 3 positions. Again, I sold the 4,000 shares of Riot last week, diversified the portfolio a little bit. So let's see how it's going. So we got a sweet spot trade on in phase, 38 to 48, 11 days out. Already $900 on this position. So been in this trade for 5 days, 11 days to expiration. We got extrinsic value of $3,325. So this has been a very good trade. We got NEO. We got short puts. We got an agreement to buy 5,000 shares of NEO at $3.50, 39 days from now. And then we've got a sweet spot trade on Sofi, 17.50 and 20. So very tight. We're down a little bit on that particular trade right now, but there's only 11 days left to expiration, and I'll keep, increasing the strike price on the put so that I could increase the strike price on the call. So essentially get credit on the puts to finance the strike on the calls if I need to roll those up for a debit. But right now it's still in the sweet spot. So we're going to collect that data. And the other metric that I look at on this channel a lot, or whenever I log on, guys, is this data right here. This is how much data, all things being equal, all things remaining equal, that I'm collecting on a daily basis on these positions. So we got $363 being collected on end phase. We've got just $15 being collected on NEO. And we've got $290 being collected on Sofi on a daily basis. Not bad. Not bad at all. There's $7,875 of extrinsic value. I feel pretty good about it. Now let's go to the featured account of the day. Absolutely getting hammered. I think we should start with Tesla first and TSLL. So on Tesla, we have a sweet spot trade at 250 and 500. So the short put is at 250. The short call is at 500. June, almost a year from now, 346 days to expiration. So quite frankly, that part of the trade is a bit of a nothing burger. Obviously made a lot of money on the short calls already, up over $1 million, but getting my butt kicked on the short puts. Wouldn't it have been great if I could be putting on these short puts right now and maybe sitting on like 200 on the short put? But, it's not that good. So I didn't get that part right. The other part that really sucks is down a lot on the long calls. There's 250 long calls on Tesla at $450, but there's plenty of time left. Expiration day is January 15th of 2027, 557 days from now. So Tesla shoots up over 350 bucks. A lot of those losses would go away. So all in all, I still feel pretty confident about the Tesla position. I don't think that those 250s are going to get challenged. And if they do, the plan is to eventually roll them out to January of 2027. So I can match up to the leaps and go from 250 to like 220, 200, something like that. And if the short calls were to get challenged, the idea is to roll those out to January 2027 as well and go from 500 to like 550. That way, these long calls would serve as a nice hedge for those short calls. And then also got the shares of Tsll serving as a hedge for the short calls as well on Tesla. There's 125,000 shares owned at 1144. They're currently going for 988, so down substantially on this swing trade right here on Tsll. Got an agreement to buy 50,000 more shares on August the 15th at $11, so that part's not going well either. Got an agreement to sell 50,000 shares at 14, 39 days from now. That part's going well. And got an agreement to sell 50,000 more shares at 15, August the 15th, 39 days from now. That part's going well also. Sofi, 17 and 25 is the sweet spot. So this was sitting at like $11 when I started this thing. And then I just kept increasing the strike, gobbling up credits. That's why you see $1 million of extrinsic value there. And I've got 5,000 puts, but I've got 3,000 short calls. This has an unlimited risk to the upside. That's why I have more puts than calls, because I feel like there's not a lot of risk to the downside. The risk is to the upside. So I kind of balanced it accordingly. So the idea here is to keep rolling the puts up and locking in more premiums and getting credits, and then using those credits to finance rolling up the naked calls. And eventually, like right here, I feel very good. I don't think that I have to do anything probably for at least like 60 to 90 days. And then on the next roll, I'm going to try to get up to like 30 bucks and so on and so forth. But all the way, I should make money, and I got plenty of buying power to do so by simply increasing the strike price from 17, 18, 19, 20, and keep following Sofi up that way and just gobbling up credits. Eventually, Sofi settles down. All that extrinsic value comes off the books, and we make a shitload of money. What else do we got? Let's talk about Riot and CleanSpark. CleanSpark, we had a situation last week where it ran up over 12 bucks to the mid 12s actually, and I sold 100,000 shares. I closed out the calls, the covered calls at a debit, sold the shares for a nice profit, locked in a huge win of about $300,000, and I kept the puts on. So I have 1,000 puts at 11, short puts at 11. So this is an obligation to buy $1.1 million worth of CleanSpark at 11 bucks, right? 1,000 contracts. It's 100,000 shares at 11 bucks. 39 days from now, don't have any short calls against it. The idea was that CleanSpark pumped like 13, 14, or 15. Then I could put the short calls on and turn it into a short strangle. But right now, this is essentially just short put position. In phase of the sweet spot trade, 40 to 45. The idea is to stay in this trade, roll and expand. HIMS, 40 and 70. I feel really, really good about this trade. I mean, I don't even have to look at it. I don't think it's going to 70, and I don't even think it's going to go to 40. So I'm just going to try to stay in this trade, and I'm going to try to collect theta because it's 1,283 bucks in theta. And that is what we're after. That is what we're after. Hood, another sweet spot trade, 70 and 120. I don't think it's going to 70. I definitely don't think it's going to 120. So I think it's just a matter of time before this position starts printing money. We're obviously winning in this position at $17,000. But collectively, I'm down for the year on Hood because I had a trade that I closed out for a loss a few months ago. So I want to get that. There's $112,000 of extrinsic value left on this particular option, guys. And I like to get a lot of it. I'd like to keep this trade on the books for a while, especially if I can get the put down to 60. Because if I get the put down to 60 after the next roll, my goodness, I'd be okay taking ownership of put at 60 bucks. Still trading pretty rich at that valuation, but it is something that I would love to ride those shares back up from 60 to 100. Make a shitload of money. Palantir, another sweet spot trade that has absolutely worked out picture perfect. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. This was just sitting at 500 contracts, but I reduced those to only 100 contracts. So we've got an agreement to buy 10,000 shares of Palantir at 115, an agreement to sell 10,000 shares of Palantir at 155. So that's a sweet spot. 115, 155. I like to lower it down to 110, 160. Feel better about it. And I'm thankful that it's only 100 contracts versus 500 because I just wasn't comfortable anymore at those levels. PayPal is another sweet spot trade, 67.50 and 82.50. I feel pretty good about it. I would feel a lot better about it if it was at like 85 or 90 on the short call side. I think it's a matter of time before PayPal erupts to the upside. So that is something that I'm mindful of. Riot, again, same situation. I sold 50,000 shares in the 12s. I closed out covered calls for a loss, made a lot of money on the position, and now we're sitting on 500 short puts at 11 bucks. Totally okay taking ownership at 11 bucks. And we've already gone over the Sofi position. And then the other position is way down the road at 137, 25, 35 sweet spot trade on Tsll with $189,000 of extrinsic value because we're down $287,000 year to date on this position. So eventually I want to have that much extrinsic value and I want to ride it out to expiration so we can break even on Tsll for the year, keep it on the books, and in 2027 is when we print money. Or I could just add more contracts to it, but I'm not comfortable doing that unless I could get the strike price to 20 on the put and the call to like 40. Then I'd probably be okay doubling that position. That is something that I would consider. Anyway, that concludes our live portfolio update. I don't really see any moves that need to be made right now. So what I want to do is just kind of talk to you guys and see where we're at. Appreciate you, SJ. Appreciate you. Doing well. Let's keep it going, Mr. G. What's going on, Rich? Morning. Just got back from a cruise. Man, good for you. Good for you. Where'd you guys go? I feel like I'm hearing more and more negative stories about GLP-1s. I love it. Intermittent fasting's the best. Sounds TJ one day at a time. TJ and family. Sounds good. Appreciate you guys. Great documentary on water fasting I saw a while back. Don is amazing for cutting weight as well. Appreciate you guys. Sorry about that. My voice is just shot, but we're trying to get through this thing. Just sold BMY puts. I think that's Briscoe Myers. I love their premiums. Right on. The irony being he is being angry on Elon's platform. Isn't that crazy? Wish I held my hood. It's popping. I realize once more only unsuccessful people are angry. And what is success? Being connected to God, having inner peace. ADM. Appreciate you guys. There's a devastation in Texas right now. A couple RV parks got wiped out. I've actually been to the water park that got wiped out. It's a very, very popular water park in Kerrville, Texas. Beautiful hill country. I think they call it like Flood Alley or something like that. So the name's like kind of there. It's just, I guess it was just a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And it wasn't enough time for like the earth to soak up all the rain. So, shit happens. Devastating for a lot of those families. This is the time where your faith is going to get tested and all that stuff. You just have to stay the course. Sometimes in life, things happen that aren't going to make sense. You just got to try to persevere one day at a time. really all that I can say about that. We're all going to deal with the vicissitudes of life. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. That's a guarantee. Life's going to be full of peaks and troughs. It's like the stock market. In a perfect world, you want to maximize the peaks and minimize the troughs, right? Minimize the valleys. Yeah, my heart goes out to those folks. There's no rhyme or reason right now. There's going to be a lot of why, dear Lord, why, God, all of that stuff. It's totally understandable. They're probably going to go through life searching for answers that do not exist. And it's tough. And I went through that, and I still go through that with my daughter. It's like why couldn't I have done anything to stop that? And it's just one of those things. Like, I'm never going to have the answer. I always told. So I just decided to try to move on with my life. I told people, hey, if you give me something to do that's going to bring my daughter back, I'm going to go do it. But there's nothing they're going to be able to get me to do. There's nothing that I can do. So I think that that's where this saying goes. This is another quote that could really help you guys out. Is sometimes you just have to let go and let God be God. You have to let go and you have to let God be God. We're never going to know more than Him. It is beyond our capabilities. And hopefully that'll give people peace whenever they're dealing with the trials and tribulations that I am pretty dang sure life is going to throw your way at times. What's going on, Maria? Why not roll the 500 calls on Tesla down for a credit? Just because I don't want to overmanage the position. And I want to be way out of the money because I have my long calls at 450. So if my long calls, like if my short call is below the strike of my long call, excuse me, then the long call isn't really a hedge. See, I bought the leaps as a hedge to the upside. This is a good question, Mike D. So I want to go through the intricacies of this trade. So the reason that I have the short calls at 500 and the long calls at 450, because if Tesla shoots up, I need to have the delta approaching 1 on the long calls so that it's offsetting 25,000 of those shares that I don't have any coverage on because it's naked, right? It's naked strangle to the upside. So that is why it's important to maintain the short call strike above your long call strike. And in fact, it would be more ideal to be closer to like 550 because if I have long calls at 450, that is going to be a lot closer to a delta of 1 if Tesla were to push up to like 550, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. Whatever happened to the Bitcoin hodl? We've just turned it into a bunch of giveaways. I've given over $4,000 on this channel, and I'm working on another giveaway of anywhere from another $4,000 to $5,000 by the end of this calendar year. I've just sent out to go make more shirts, caps, and then really, really cool hoodies for the Rent Squad, and also for people that are going on this weight loss journey for me. And on the hoodie, the design that I've got on it's actually going to be on the shirt, not the hoodie. But it just says earn, not given. Right. So it's like TJ the Wheel Deal, the whole thing. But then it's just going to say earn, not given. In other words, I'm not going to give you that shirt. You have to earn that shirt by posting your weight loss journey and so on and so forth. Those shirts are not going to be for sale. You got to earn them. I'm not going to give them to you. Is my 2250 cover call expiring 725 safe? I assume that's on Sofi. Oh, man, not financial advice, but I don't think you got anything to worry about. It's July the 7th. Sofi's trading at, what's Sofi trading at? 19 bucks? Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see how Sofi is going to get to those levels. Take the kids to Cozumel, first cruise, and it was nice to get away from all the distractions for a few days. Hope all is good. So I want to go on an. I've never been on a cruise. I've been on a gambling cruise, but that didn't really count. That was only a few hours. I did that a couple of times, but I want to do the Alaska cruise next year out of Seattle. I feel like this Alaska cruise is bucket list stuff, and I want to get that done. Love that idea. Would you roll SoFi 10 leaps up yet 126 expiration? I don't know why you would want to roll those up. Uh, I say you should just keep making money with them. I mean, they're printing for you. So I don't know why you would want to like take on more risk, if you will. I think sometimes you just got to let a winner print. Got it, rich man covered call. The rich man covered call, yeah, this is when you sell the puts in the distance, which is kind of what I've done. But what I would like to do is I would like to match up all my dates. You see, right now the short strangle is June of 26. The leap is January of 27. So I want to stay in this trade for another 90 days or so on the short puts, short calls. And depending on what it's doing, I may roll one leg at a time, right? So if Tesla gaps down even more, well, then maybe I roll that 250 to like 220, shoot, or 200 even, shoot it out to January of 2027. And then I wait for a pump. And then if it pumps, eventually I'll roll the short call from June of 26 to January 27, go from, 500 to like 550. And then I feel really, really good about it because I'm legit hedged to the upside. And then I also have the 125,000 shares of TSLL. That's the equivalent of over 10,000 shares of Tesla. So I feel like I'm not really running that naked at the upside of that. Yes, SoFi. SoFi earnings 729. Right on. Yeah. Me personally, I would milk that data. I would milk that data for at least another week or two, and then then close it out if you don't want to like deal with it as far as earnings go. But yeah, I just don't think those are at risk at all. But again, TJ has his ideas. Mr. Market is ultimately large and in charge, right? So you can keep that in mind. Anyway, I appreciate the 1,186 people that have seen the link on X, the 44 people that are rocking with me live on YouTube. Uh, be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for another health and wealth segment coming. I don't know that it'll come today, but hopefully in the next day or two. And I'm trying to get at least two of those out on a weekly basis. And it's me huffing and puffing and just talking about life and talking about, whatever positions you guys may have. Anyway, guys, I got to save my voice a little bit because I do have 3 or 4 FaceTimes today. So I got to try to get those knocked out as well. TJ Will Deal signing off. As always, may your sky stay blue, stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys.